This year, 3AW turns 80 years of age, 80 years on the air, and this is a part of a chapter that we can open every Sunday night and have a glimpse into what we were doing in all those years.
Yes, I've enjoyed doing this very much.
Well,
it's a great learning experience.
You do a great job of it, and we're looking now at my association with Darren James on breakfast all those years. We, 30 years ago, started off with Darren and John Blackman, and then later Darren James and myself. And it was a ritual every Christmas. We did 9 to 12. It was pre-recorded, and we interviewed people, and we had the characters of Sister Norell and all the rest of it.
Tommy Laeth was in there.
Tommy Laeth and Kamal would pop in,
yes.
and Sister Norell. And before that, of course, John and I did it every Christmas morning between 9 and 12.
Yes.
And it was a bit of a tradition here at 3AW.
And we're lucky these were preserved, Bruce, by a lovely guy named Grant Sauerberg, who is a very big fan of yours and Darren's, and kindly threw over the tapes with all this on it.
Grant, thanks for doing that on the old cassettes of life.
Yes, C90s.
Now, this Christmas show goes back to 1987, and Neil Mitchell called in.
Christmas morning in Melbourne, and who better to have on the line and wish a very Merry Christmas, our afternoon man, 4 to 7, Neil Mitchell.
Well, Neil, we haven't heard much about your family since you've been on air. I guess you'll be spending Christmas morning with them.
Certainly haven't got much choice, Darren. Actually, the daughter is up early. I've got a 2.5-year-old daughter, Kelly Therese. She is just beginning to understand Christmas, of course. It's the first one she's really known what it was all about. Good things like presents and food and all that sort of stuff. She's been up early and at it.
Well, we had Muriel Cooper on, and she had Amy on, who's just 3, and Amy sang us a song. Does your little one get round singing much?
Well, she does pass a few comments. She's more of a commentator than a singer.
She's doing editorials.
What's on for lunch today, Neil?
Well, I'll be spending lunch with the family, of course, my family and my mother and my sister and brother-in-law and brother and all the kids. We'll have a big traditional lunch, I think, and of course I'll be on 3AW later in the afternoon.
Oh, of course. What time are you coming in here, Neil?
4 o'clock, I think we go to air.
All right, good. We'll look forward to hearing your show this afternoon along with all the other personalities. And from all of us on breakfast and to your afternoon team, a very happy Christmas and continued success during 1988.
Thank you, Uncle Roy, and the same to you.
It's a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Neil Mitchell.
1987 was this Christmas show on air with Darren and Uncle Roy.
How's that? And Neil Mitchell with a 2.5-year-old daughter.
That girl is about 20.
Uni student or something now, yeah.
Well, a very young Kylie Minogue called in to see us on this Christmas show.
Speaking of neighbours...
Yes?
Well, guess who we have on the line?
It wouldn't be Key Minogue, would it?
Oh, Kylie Minogue. Charlene from Neighbours, good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. What an absolute honour to be talking to a megastar on Christmas morning. I'm so excited I'm almost beside myself.
Oh, that's all right. It's a pleasure working with you, Darren.
No, I was talking about Kylie, Uncle Roy. How do you spend Christmas morning, Kylie?
Well, I just have a really big family day with... My mother's got 5 brothers and sisters, so all of them and all of their family and the other side, so we have a great day.
Do you see any of the neighbours people, Jason, or any of the crowd?
No, I think we're all doing pretty much our own thing on Christmas.
Which you are today, yes.
And tell me, Kylie, what will you be having for lunch?
Oh, probably the usual. A bit of turkey, stacks. Phillips coming out of my ears.
I suppose it's one day when we can let our hair down and all be kids, really, again.
Yeah.
What did you find under the tree first thing this morning? Can you let us in on the secret?
Oh, not much. I haven't opened them yet. I opened them at lunchtime.
Oh, that's a good idea, too. Will you be having the plum pudding with the sixpences inside, Kylie?
I hope so.
Yeah, I love that bit, because Mum is always, I've said, with the inflation rate, I tell her that each 5 cent we find in the Christmas pudding should be worth about $1. Because of inflation.
Just as the tip to all of you women cooking, or if you've got a pudding in the oven at the moment, if you're thinking of putting sixpences in, would you wrap them in Glad Wrap? Because if you...
That'd melt, Uncle Roy.
You put it in the middle of a pudding, you don't know. Because you don't know where they've been and in whose pockets they have been jingling.
Hey, Kylie.
Yes?
Can I just ask you a favour?
Not now.
Can one day you come into the studio next year as our Fun Friday guest?
Sure.
Oh, I'd love that.
Oh, I I'd love that too.
And all of Melbourne loves you, Kylie or Charlene. Thanks for a great year and continued success next year.
Thank you.
Have a good Christmas.
Merry Christmas. See ya.
Bye.
Happy days in 1987 with Darren and Uncle Roy and our Christmas special.
With a young-sounding Kylie
Oh,
Minogue.
darling, she's only about 12. And Andrew Peacock was a lot younger too when he breezed in on this Christmas show.
Well, we would hardly be original. We'll be getting into the normal Christmas fare. Very standard in our household, but I'm looking forward to it.
I suppose it's one day, you know, when we fling the diet out the window and just enjoy ourselves.
Well, I thought you did that regularly throughout the year at others' expense, Uncle Roy.
Well, I try not to, Andrew. There's no need to bring that sort of sordid atmosphere into this lovely call.
On this day of cheer, I'm sorry for that.
Yes, it's a great day, Andrew. I was thinking before, though, isn't it a bit silly that we have the hot turkey and it's usually a very hot Christmas day?
Yes, I don't think most Australians worry about that. After all, it's a tradition handed down from the Northern Hemisphere. Some could argue, in a spirit of nationalism, I suppose, that we should have something uniquely Australian, but this is almost universal. So we're following tradition throughout the world. There are plenty of others in the Southern Hemisphere doing the same.
What sort of year has it been, Andrew? For you?
A hell of a year.
Yeah.
I've been a bit like the stock market, up and down and up and down. I think I was the only member of the opposition, bearing in mind we got defeated in the elections, who actually was promoted. I ended up deputy leader.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that score.
Backbencher after that notable call from Mr. Kennett on his car phone.
Oh, that's right, yes.
You're not in the car now, are you, Andrew?
Oh, dreaded no. Jeffrey, who was in the car, I said on that occasion, actually, where could you be in a safer place than in your own bed, in your own home, with your wife and sound asleep? Save and except for Jay Kennett cruising the streets of Melbourne with a car phone.
These things happen, though, Andrew. Any plans for 1988?
Yes, not to talk on the car phone.
You're going away anywhere for the holidays, Andrew?
I'm actually going to be pretty well bound to home, Uncle Roy. I want to do a lot of windsurfing on the bay. If I can, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off in January.
When you just mentioned windsurfing, are you very competent at it, Andrew?
I can sail reasonably well.
What sort of board do you have?
I'm too old for wave jumping and things like that, but yeah, I can sail all right.
What-
I get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
What sort of board do you have, Andrew?
I use a Mistral Maui.
The old Mistral Maui.
Yeah, I love the old missies.
Given actually, the Margaret called my bluff about 4 years ago and bought a board for me together with a book. And I had to sit down and read the book to try and teach myself.
That's good fun, isn't it, once you get out on the water?
It's great, but it's not easy to read a book as you're falling in the water on it.
All right, well, Andrew, we're going to leave you now with the love and best wishes of all of our listeners for a happy and prosperous year ahead.
That's warmly reciprocated, and I hope all are just feeling a little happier today.
Thank you. Andrew Peacock, a very Merry Christmas.
And we couldn't leave you without last guest.
You know, you and Darren have often spoken about the joy of having this particular guest on your show. I always wondered, did it really happen? I've never heard any audio to prove that it did, but we have that now.
We have that now, and she was a regular visitor, and we in turn, when we got to Los Angeles, she visited us. Joan Rivers.
Well, it's Christmas morning in Melbourne, and I must say that I'm a sentimentalist. I love Christmas, don't you, Darren?
I'll tell you what, it's one of my favourite days, and I like it because you can get stuck into it early. A nice glass of champagne to kick off the celebrations.
Well, I've had a couple of Tia Marias and cream de monts myself. I'm going to be quite brutally frank with you. But coming through the door now, our special guest is dropping in especially for us. This is what I love about this woman. Joan Rivers to spend Christmas morning with us.
Merry Christmas, guys!
Oh, what a morning.
I got you each a gift.
Oh, what have you got?
Balls of life. Yes, I found it and I got it for you each.
Oh, look at them.
Thank you.
Look, you rotate them in your hand.
Isn't that great?
They stimulate the ventricles and the muscles of your hand, Joan.
I knew you'd like it.
How did you get these on Christmas morning? Everything,
Yeah.
shut up, Joan.
Oh, not for me.
You had a couple of these, but they broke, didn't they?
They break, I dropped them. And, these will be fine. But Joan, Christmas morning, I'm glad you popped into my home here. I am a humble man. I haven't much
you
to
are.
offer.
No, you haven't.
There's not much. The goose is very small. The plum pudding almost the same.
Oh, that's what that is. I thought that came out of the goose.
Oh, it is pretty small, but not that small.
Joan, Christmas morning to you, what does it mean?
What does it mean? Very little. I got no gift.
Oh,
One thing, I came down this morning and there was a beautiful set of luggage in the center hall with all my clothes in it from my manager. No gifts, no gifts.
That's a shame.
You're saying goodbye to us now on this Christmas morning, but what have you seen in Melbourne? You've been down to Lawn?
I've been down to Lawn.
You've been to the Dandenongs?
I've been to the Dandenongs.
You've worked all at the Hilton. You've done several shows.
Yes, I've been to Ayers Rock.
You've been to Ayers.
Yes, Ayers Rock.
Isn't it huge?
Did you see Meryl Streep up there by any chance?
I crying and carrying on and acting like a bloody fool.
That's a big...
Who does she think she is?
Exactly, I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh, I said, Meryl, pull yourself together. Take off that stupid wig.
Yeah, but she's playing a woman up there who's gone through hell and back.
Well, that's her problem. You can go through hell and back and still look good. Look at me.
Joan, Christmas morning, thanks for popping by. But New Year's Eve is just around the corner.
Yes.
What do you usually do New Year's?
I work anywhere they want me, preferably on the stage.
Right.
Anywhere. Yeah, this year I may just turn a couple of tricks.
Ah.
Well, you know.
Yeah, all right.
Buck's a buck. No, I'll be working in Florida, Miami Beach, in America.
Heading back shortly.
Heading back immediately to get back there, yes.
Okay.
But I wouldn't, it's not Christmas if it's not you two.
Oh, you love me.
I'll be here every Christmas.
I love you for that.
Oh, hey.
Thanks,
I brought you a little, manger scene to go under the tree, but I'm Jewish. So in the manger, I have an electric blanket. That's okay.
Good. That'll look nice under the tree, Uncle Roy, won't it?
Oh, a gorgeous woman. Only exemplified by her big heart. Thank you for taking us to your bosom, Joan. We shall.
My pleasure. If you can find them, let me know.
Okay.
A very Merry Christmas, Joan Rivers.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
What marvellous memories there.
Memories, yes. I just wasn't sure what you said. Neil Mitchell, Kylie Minogue, Andrew Peacock and Joan Rivers,
Not
all in the
bad.
space of 10 minutes. That's a good
bad.
lineup.
No, it was very good.
A lot of work went into those shows, didn't it?
Yes, there was a lot of pre-recording, and of course it didn't go to air live. We pre-recorded on the Friday, and it went to air on the whatever
Christmas Day,
Christmas Day one.
Yes. Excellent work, though.
Yes, 1987, back in the old. Well, where would we have been? Back in Latrobe Street.
Yeah, that was Latrobe Street back in those days. Yes.
That's lovely.
I still love Neil Mitchell referring to his 2.5-year-old daughter. That really dates it. And Neil Mitchell being introduced as our afternoons man from 4 till 7.
Will you be on this afternoon? Yeah, I'll be in at 4.
Yeah.
How it changes.
right
Anyway, good memories of 80 years on the air, and more next week.
Yes.
From Simon's deft hand of editing and selecting.
Thank you.
Now coming up to 10, and then we're back.